Hey guys, this is GoBlue1117, and welcome to my next walkthrough. And that's right guys, as I said in the finale of Mario Party 2, next project I'm tackling is Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance. Really fun game, really underrated Castlevania game, in my opinion. I think it's the second best, probably the ones for the GBA, behind Aria of Sorrow. So let's get right into it. I'm going to be Richter as my file name, as I did with Aria of Sorrow, where I used a different Belmont. That you didn't play as a Belmont, so I didn't have to worry about that, and I just couldn't use Julius. Or I guess a la carte either. Anyway, 50 years have passed since Simon Belmont vanquished the curse of Dracula. Fate has dictated that Juste Belmont, blood descendant of the Belmont family, hunt for the relics of Dracula. One day, Juste's best friend, Maxim, who had set out on a training expedition 2 years earlier, returned unexpectedly, his body covered with wounds. He informs Juste that Lydie, a childhood friend whom they both deeply care about, has been kidnapped. Maxim has completely lost his memory of the time training away from home, and only has vague images of the kidnapping. Ignoring his bodily injuries, Maxim leads Juste to the place where he believes Lydie is being held captive. Passing through thick fog, the two men happen upon a castle undocumented on any map. Could this be the fabled Dracula's castle? Standing solemnly in the night, this forbidding castle welcomes its unexpected guests as the moonlight shines upon it. So we have a kidnapping, similar to actually what happened to Richter Belmont and both the games he's known for. Though we have Annette as the kidnapping victim this time, not Lydie. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. We have Lydie as the kidnapping victim this time, not Annette. So anyway, I'm just going to have him talking. Not much of interest here. So you truly believe that Lydie was brought to this castle. My memory fails me, but this seems to be the place. Don't you believe me? I know better than anyone that you are not the type to lie. Juste. Are you alright? I'm fine. It's Lydie you should be concerned about, not me. Go on ahead, I'll be right behind you. You have my word. Okay then, I'll see you inside. Alright, I don't know if I'm going to do that for all the little cutscenes and dialogue. Anyway, if we take a look at the controls, you can jump around, dash, swing your whip. And also if you hold on to the B button, which is what I'm using for the whip, and then you rotate the D-pad, you can swing your whip around, which isn't really that useful, but if you really want to do that, I thought I'd show that off. Just be aware if you're playing that L is always dash left. It's not like one of them is dash forward or dash back. It's either dash left or dash right. So anyways, we happen upon the castle, this big mound. Ignore it though. Oh boy, it's a big, gigantic skeleton guy in armor. I think we're just going to run away. Oh, and remember that little hole in the ceiling. That'll be important really late in the game, but yeah, just remember it's there. But yeah, right now we're trying to get away, and that's all it is. So yeah, just run away. Not that difficult. And then we move on to the entrance, and let's get started. Just hit that little pillar to move on, otherwise you can't get up there. And we'll start with this, I guess. And we're actually going to get our first armor of the game right away. The leather armor. Not that great, but I'll go ahead and equip it in a second. We're going to get one other thing pretty soon. Actually, I don't want to go this way. I'm going to wait to go that way. And we get the leather boots, so we'll go ahead and equip those. Those just both raise defense. And here are the first real enemies that we're going to face. These are skeletons. They just throw bones. And what we just grabbed is the fist. There are a bunch of different sub-weapons that we can actually use. Just thinking of a couple off the top of my head. There's the Holy Book, Holy Water, Fist, Knife, some other stuff. That is the Soul Orb, so now we can actually see how much damage we do to enemies. And that's just the fist. You can see the little heart count in the top left next to the fist. That's what you use up when you use these without a spell book. And now we've got the knife because we grabbed a different one. They're hidden just in random little lights where they sometimes hide money or more often hearts. But anyway, when you're not using them with the spell book, which we'll see later, we'll get the spell books pretty soon. I'm actually going to hold on to the Holy Book because once we get our first spell book, that's my favorite. But it will actually be using the bottom meter, our magic meter. But if you're not using a spell book, then you use your hearts. So that kind of explains hearts. You can't actually go that way because there's that stone wall in the way, but we got a life max. So that just raised our max MP. The door back there to the right is actually the entrance to a new area, but we don't want to go that way because if you remember my Area of Sorrow project, I'm kind of anal about not wanting to see the new area until we can actually do stuff there, and if we went through that door, we'd just hit a wall and not be able to do anything. And actually, I don't want to go this way. We're actually going to go back and now go up through this way, because this is actually the way to the second area of the game. The entrance isn't very big, which is actually a shame, because I really like the music. And that is one thing I'm going to be ranting about a little bit in this project, how in general this game is unfairly disliked, and especially the music. I really do like the music, the 8-bit, very nostalgic music. I do really enjoy it. I just showed off the Holy Book there, the Soul Holy Book. Not that great by itself. Once we get a spell book, though, it'll be good. There are like 4 or 5 different spell books dealing with elemental magic, and when combined with the sub-weapons, they become stronger. And those are armor knights. When they spin their spear, it actually works as a shield, so just be aware of that. Not too tough, though. And yeah, I really don't like this Holy Book very much by itself. And I've gotten a couple potions. You can just take a look at that. Restore some MP, what a shock. That's what potions always really do. I mean, shouldn't be much of a surprise if you played Castlevania before. And I think we're done with this big room. Yeah. And actually to our left is our first save room. So these rooms will heal your MP and HP. Of course we haven't used any MP yet because we don't have the spell book, but anyway. They'll heal those. You can also save your game. I'm not going to do that until I'm about to end the video in case I have any problems or something. Anyway, I just used the holy water and then grabbed the book right back because I wanted to hold on to that. But you saw the holy water. There's a heart max up, did the same thing as on HP max. Just raises your max hearts and refills all of your hearts. So now we have 32 instead of, like, I don't even know how many. I think it goes up by 5. I want to say it goes up by 5, so I think we had 27 before. Can't go this way. Can't even come close to making that ledge, so that's about all we can do in the entrance. And there's not much more in the entrance than what we've seen. And yeah, I've got everything I really needed to cover. And I'm only not even at 10 minutes yet, so I think I will go ahead and start the second area a little bit here. So if we head through this door, we will enter the Marble Corridor. Another pretty cool soundtrack. Not as good as the entrance. The entrance is probably my second favorite behind one we'll see toward the middle of the game. So these are, I forget their name, Armor Knights, maybe. They're a little bit tougher. Anyway, here's this guy. Probably guess who he is. Color of your soul. You must be a Belmont. That is correct. This overwhelming power. Death? No, really. It wasn't the sickle or the very gaunt figure that gave it away. It was the overwhelming power. Alright. Indeed. Which means this, in fact, is Dracula's castle. That might be true, though the power that is here is not my lord's. What do you mean? I must go now. We shall meet again, son of Belmont. Ah, he got away. So yeah, we'll see Death later. I like Death in this game a lot more than I do in like Aria of Sorrow, because we actually get to talk to him a couple times. Right here we have the castle map. So yeah, we can see different areas of the castle. So basically the marble corridor as well as the third area. And actually down that little pit that we saw, I'm actually not going to go there because we got some other stuff we want to do, so don't even think about that room right now. Don't worry about it, just forget we ever saw it. I'll come back to it when it's time. Which actually won't be that long, it'll be like video 3 or video 4 that we do it, but for now, just don't worry about it. And this, yeah, this is the block puzzle room. Alright. Yeah. So they actually do make pretty good use of the kind of crate puzzle, block puzzle, whatever you want to call it, in this game. Obviously this one is very easy. There's actually one, though, pretty late in the game that can actually be a little bit of a challenge. I actually struggled with a little bit my first time. And I'm sorry if you could hear the train there in the background. But yeah, that one's a little tough. Not so much because it's a challenging puzzle, just because sometimes it can be a little finicky with the crates and it won't work. Sometimes if you don't have it just right. We'll deal with that later. Through this door. Yeah, there's nothing else here. Is the ice book, so our first spell book. So go ahead and turn that on. Make sure you turn it on, otherwise it won't be on. You can only have one spell book on at a time. That's why it automatically starts them off. I also got a heart max. There is the holy book and ice. That is probably my favorite combination in the entire game. Because it has great horizontal range. And it's pretty powerful too. Obviously there are going to be some enemies, as usual in Castlevania games, that have certain elemental strengths and weaknesses, so enemies that are strong against ice obviously won't be as affected by it, but accepting those, it's pretty good. Now I'm actually going to head quickly back to the save room, back in the entrance, just because I'm about out of time for my recording for some reason. Even though for Mario Party 2 it would let me record for like upwards of 40 minutes. For this game, it'll only allow me to record about 15 or 20, so I'm going to go ahead and save now and the first video. We'll continue with the Marble Corridor in video 2, so thanks for watching. See you next time.